So the Hermes Birkin 25 is one of my favorite bags in my luxury bag collection, but it's also not the easiest bag to get from the Hermes store, at least not without a solid purchase history. To be honest, I would quite like another Hermes Birkin 25, but now that I'm not a regular customer at Hermes, I have zero expectation of getting a bag offer anytime soon. This is why I've been browsing, and I think I might have found some really good alternatives for the Birkin 25. The very first one is the Hermes Garden Party bag. I personally really like the simplicity of this bag. I think when something has such a clean design, that's when you can really tell if the item is well made or not. For me, the only limiting factor is the size. I usually prefer smaller handbags, so even the smallest garden party, which is the size 30, is a bit too big for me. In fact, I think if Hermes ever comes out with a garden party 23 or 25, it could potentially make a very popular Hermes handbag. I mean, not too long ago, the trend was to carry absolutely everything in our bags, but now I think the trend is certainly going the other way. I, for one, like to be as minimalistic as possible with what I carry. Please let me know if you think an Hermes Garden Party 23 is a good idea, and would you consider buying it? Another luxury handbag that can make a really good alternative for the Hermes Birkin is the Louis Vuitton Montan. I used to own a Louis Vuitton Montan MM in the black umbrella leather, and honestly, I miss it sometimes. I had the bag for about 2 years and I use it a lot. If anyone is interested in this bag, I highly recommend it. I think the LV Montan is well made, beautiful, easy to use and very practical. The only reason I sold the bag was because I thought it was quite similar to my Hermes Kelly 28 and I wanted to make room for variety. However, knowing what I know now, I think the Louis Vuitton Montan is more similar to the Hermes Birkin than the Hermes Kelly. Now this bag comes with a shoulder strap. Even though I hardly ever use it, it had the perfect length. I really like that the bag dropped at just above my hip area, making it the perfect shoulder bag as well. The next one is the Louis Vuitton City Steamer PM. Now this bag is always sold out on the Louis Vuitton website, but I've not actually seen it a lot on social media, so I'm not entirely sure if this is a very popular Louis Vuitton handbag. But doesn't it look very similar to the Hermes Birkin bag? I think the resemblance probably has something to do with the fact that this bag comes with a lock and a key, just like the Birkin. When I look at this bag, it especially reminds me of the Hermes Birkin Sellier, which was originally released in 2014, but only in the size 40. As from 2020, however, these bags are now available in the size 25, 30 and 35. Anyway, back to the Louis Vuitton City Steamer PM. Even though this bag looks quite similar to the Hermes Birkin, I feel like somehow it has a more formal vibe, whereas the Birkin looks a little bit more versatile. Now, I'm not sure if you will agree with this, but I think a lot of the recent Louis Vuitton designs are quite loud, so it's quite refreshing to see something that's relatively low-key, such as this Louis Vuitton City Steamer PM. The next one is the Louis Vuitton Capucines BB. Although some people might argue that this bag resembles the Hermes Kelly bag more than the Hermes Birkin bag. Anyway, this bag was on my wishlist for a long time, and I'm talking about 2 to 3 years. At one point, I even considered buying it pre-loved from a viewer. As time went by, however, I didn't want this bag as desperately anymore. But that's not because this bag is now less beautiful for me. I actually think this bag is really classy and I can picture myself enjoying it. All that being said, I basically decided my bag collection is big enough and I should enjoy what I already have. So the rest is history. So that's the reason I kind of stopped browsing the Louis Vuitton Capucines collection for quite some time. But last week, when I had a look at the Louis Vuitton website, I was beyond shocked about the prices. So the Louis Vuitton Capucines BB with the exotic top handle is now over £5,000. Now I know Louis Vuitton has had several price increases in the last 2 years, but I'm sure the last time I checked, the Capucines BB was about £3,200, so it's quite a drastic inflation to say the least. Now the Louis Vuitton Capucines BB is quite comparable to the Hermes Birkin 25 in terms of sizes, so I'll be comparing these two bags. Back then when I was in the market for a Louis Vuitton Capucines BB, the price of a Birkin 25 was about double the price of a Capucines BB, but now the gap is closing really quickly. I personally don't see myself buying a Capucines BB brand new from the Louis Vuitton store. However, I believe this bag is something I would seriously consider getting if I didn't have an Hermes Birkin 25 already. Another luxury handbag that really reminds me of the Hermes Birkin is the Blackstraper. I really like that this bag is quite low-key and elegant. This is just not a very mainstream handbag, so if you know, you know. And I say this because I only came across this handbag myself when I was browsing the Net-a-Porter website. And before that, I had no idea this was a Blackstraper handbag, or the fact that Blackstraper even had this collection. As far as the bag design and the leather material go, I really like the Blackstraper. However, I can see two potential issues with this bag. First of all, it looks like closing the bag will require a bit of maneuvering. On the picture, it looks like the only way to close the bag is by pushing the key through the keyhole from the inside. So it just looks like it takes quite a lot of work to get in and out the bag. And my second concern with this bag is that the top handle or part of it goes across the inside of the handbag. So it might just be slightly in the way. If any of you happen to have this handbag, please let me know if the bag is easy to use, and I really hope to hear some good reviews. The next really good alternative for the Hermes Birkin bag is the Fendi Peekaboo. This is a bag I've been checking out now and again for years, and I really adore the Fendi Mini Peekaboo. This bag does come with a shoulder strap, but I much prefer the way it looks as a top handle bag. Visually, I really like the Mini Peekaboo with the smooth carved leather. I think the suppleness of this leather really complements the bag so well. That said, I'm not someone who likes to baby my handbags, nor do I enjoy seeing a lot of scratches on my pieces. So I personally would go for the textured carved leather just for practicality and my own peace of mind. The Fendi Mini Peekaboo is a little bit smaller than the Hermes Birkin 25, and I think it looks so effortless and chic with a touch of classiness. Another luxury handbag that could make a really good alternative for the Hermes Birkin is the Dior book tote. At one point, the canvas Dior book totes were the it bags, at least on social media. Dior clearly saw the rising demand and seized the opportunity. So now you can see these bags in 4 different sizes. The size small measures 26 centimeters, so it's quite similar to the Hermes Birkin 25, making it my favorite size from the collection. I really like the Dior book tote in the black carved leather. I just think it goes so well with the bag design, and the bag just looks so chic, modern, and full of character. As for the canvas Dior book totes, there's quite a selection of different colors and embroidery designs. I think they are beautiful in their own right, but they just look a bit too out there for me, and I'm also not sure if I'm happy to pay so much for a canvas bag. I also want to mention the Louis Vuitton Go PM in the black empreinte leather, because I think this bag has a very similar design like the leather Dior book tote. Now, I'm not exactly a big fan of the massive Louis Vuitton monogram embossment on the leather, but I think if you prefer something that's a bit more scratch resistant and you're also looking for a shoulder strap, this bag might be a more appealing option compared to the Dior book tote. So those are the 8 luxury handbags that might make the perfect alternatives for the Hermes Birkin. Let me know which one is your favorite, and if you have any luxury handbags to suggest, please feel free to do so down below. If you're new here, my name is Eileen. On this channel, we are all about luxury minimalism and intentional spending, and I would love for you to join our lovely community. Until next week, take care, and I will see you in the comment section.